Good afternoon and God's blessings on you, servants of the Lord. We have been talking about some very important matters this week, matters of the heart. I want to say also matters of the mind, matters of our lives, matters of the world around us, everything that pertains to us and that affects us going forward. We need to talk about this. And we've been having a little bit of discussion here and there. And it's been a blessing from one day to the next to see how the Lord ministers to us and shows us how to get closer to his heart. It's not just about what we can get from God. It's not just about us having more of what he has in his hands. We want to get closer to God so that we can have more of his heart. We can get closer into his heart. We can be more like him. You and I, we need to think more like him. We need to speak more like him. We need to work like he works, and we need to extend ourselves and love like he loves. And that's not something that comes natural to you. It doesn't matter how loving of a person you are. It's not natural for you to love like Jesus loves. And so last night we talked a little bit about that on our collab, because we were talking about how the Lord, even with Noah, extended mercy. His desire was to extend mercy to Nineveh, and Noah, his heart, even if he was offended for the Lord, he just was not having it. No, God, I don't want to go. I know how you are. I don't want to go. Why? Because we house different emotions in our hearts over time. Our experiences, the things that we hear, the things that we take offense for, the things that we see, the matters that we go through. You know, you can hurt for someone else. You can see someone else going through something, and that can impact you. And so you and I understand Jonah's plight. People that do bad should have bad things happen to them, unless it's me. You know, you don't want to reap what you sow, but you understand what it looks like on the other hand. So Noah had a hard time with that. And so the Lord was really, really expressing to Noah the subject, the heart of mercy. That's a big deal, because why not? Whatever God gives to us, we have an obligation to give it out so that others can be blessed by what he's put into us. And you know God has put something into you if he's given it to you. If he gives you mercy, you have it. If he gives you strength, you have it. If he gives you love, you have it to give, even if you don't feel like it. And so the Lord is merciful to us, and we absolutely need God's mercy. We rejoice when we hear about brand new mercies every day. We need his mercies. And so because we need his mercies, we look for it. We look for him to pardon our transgressions and to, God, please go easy on us. Be gentle with me, Lord God. Remember my frame. Help me. God, even when I know that I'm wrong and I do the wrong that I know is not good, please, God, please. Just be patient with me. I appreciate your long suffering. I appreciate your temperance towards me. I need it, Jesus, you know. And especially when we don't know when we're wrong, we need the Lord's mercy. God, just cover us. And so we are people who are looking for God to love us in some special ways. Mercy is one of them. God shows forth his love towards you by being merciful to you every single day. And so it is an act of God's heart in our hearts to extend mercy to those on the outside of us, those around us. And you know, if you can be honest, with first glance or with the first onset of how a situation may approach you, or how you may approach a situation, or how something comes, or something you see, or a matter at hand, mercy may not be always your first inclination to respond in. That may not be your default. That may not be your natural way. And maybe sometimes it is. But what about when something hits you hard or something hurts you deep? And to be soft and kind and loving is not just what comes out of you. It's just not. And that's God's mercy towards you, that shows for him to show you, hey, you have other areas of your heart that you got to let me deal with. You got to open up. You know, you have to really be vulnerable in me so that I can show you my heart. When I show you more of my heart and you focus on me, I'm going to make your heart like mine so that others can experience my love in the way that I give to you, and others can experience my mercy in the way that I give it to you. And what that's going to do is going to heal them. You don't know why that offense came. You don't know why you heard about that over there. You don't know why circumstance happens, but What you do know is the Lord empowers you. The Lord imparts to you his anointing. He blesses you with great ministry that's strong, and it's to do great work on the world around you. First stop, your neighbor, people in your home, the things that come right to you, things that you see. The Lord allows you to be exposed to matters. And in every single instance is a check of the heart. What's going on with you? Why was it not your first inclination to love? Why was it so hard for you to consider gentleness and mercy? How? Why? And the Lord wants to teach us his ways. I gave a testimony earlier this week, and I absolutely love it because it still amazes me, you know, when God does miraculous things and when he shows his heart, we know how good he is and we know how grand he is. We know how supernatural he releases into the earth. So we're not really supposed to be like shocked that God does miraculous things, but I'm still so very amazed about how the Lord did this in my heart, because the things that were happening around me in a certain season were very hurtful, very hard for me. They were very heavy, bringing onsets of anxiety that just you cannot plan for. I didn't know when it would come. I wasn't sure what direction the situations would come from. And it was constant. You feel like you're being slammed every time from every which way. And you just can't prepare for it other than in prayer. And so I don't know if I just got tired of it or the Lord was just so kind and merciful to me. So these matters that were happening, it was developing in my heart. Not just fear, but bitterness and anger, frustration, you know, not big things where I just want to lash out, but just like a hardness against what's happening, a hardness against the person or the people. That's still, regardless of what somebody's doing, that's still my heart. That's still what God sees as the condition of my heart. It was building. And God in his love and his mercy, maybe, you know, he knows your heartbeat. And who knows if anyone else could see maybe how I pick on an individual all the time. You know, I can always tell when their eyebrow just slightly raises or when their other eye just quickly twitches. Like, I saw that something's happening in your emotions. So the Lord knows your heartbeat. He knows the rhythm. He can perceive what's happening with you, even if you know how to put on something on the outside. And so I know the Lord was seeing all my heart rhythms. I know the Lord was seeing all of my eyebrow raises. I know he was seeing every hair raise, everything about me. God, I'm trying. I'm putting it on. I'm putting on joy. I'm putting on love. I'm leaping with the brethren. We're having a great time. I'm doing my responsibilities and I'm striving to love it despite what's being thrown at me. And so the Lord was very gracious to me in that season, and he allowed for me in a time of rest overnight. He gave me 2 dreams, consecutive nights in a row, about the one area that was most burdensome to me, most burdensome. And I didn't really know it was the most burdensome thing because, I mean, it was a lot of stuff going on. I think I felt like that was more bothersome. And I thought that over there was more offensive, but he knew what he needed to address in my heart. And so the way that he did it was presenting the individual in ways in my dream that in my unconsciousness, I couldn't help but to respond favorably. In my sleep time, in my dream, I couldn't help but to receive what God was putting in the air, in the atmosphere of his presence into me. And so when I woke up, every bit of burden, all heaviness had lifted. When I woke up, my perspective had changed. When I woke up, the way that I thought about things and the individual, any fear or frustration or anger or despisement, it was moved out the way. The Lord flipped that table and he made it clean. Oh yeah, no, make my Father's house holy. And so it is. And I was explaining in my testimony that no matter how often I would still be confronted by the matters, it would still be there in my face. Things were still happening. They were ongoing. They never stopped. the Lord still prevented me from being able to find any bad emotion, any negative emotion. What he put in me in that time of rest, what he deposited in me, how he shifted my heart, he gave me a new heart concerning that, scraped away the stones. It never changed. No matter how much I felt like it was not fair. God is not fair. It's not fair. I shouldn't want to be loving. They shouldn't receive my mercy. They shouldn't receive my warm embrace. Even if I give it, I shouldn't feel like I'm just releasing it in willingness and freedom. My goodness, where's the justice here? I said, no. I'm preparing your heart for something greater, and I need for it to be healed in these circumstances and maintain the healing and wholeness of the Lord. Because you don't know that even he had to tell Peter, the enemy, he is coming to sift you like wheat. But Peter, I've prayed for you. And I felt like that's what the Lord was doing. He was raining down the spirit of intercession in those dreams, those consecutive nights. He was blessing me with prayer from on high, supernatural intercession, where he has straight access to the Father, and the Father rained down blessings on my heart and my mind and my soul. And I woke up a new person. I woke up the right way. I woke up with a new perspective that if he had not intervened, I would not been able to come to myself. There was nothing in me that would have been able to come to that. You know how that is when you've experienced different hurts or burdens or frustrations or things. People can do things so much that it's like, well, this is affecting me so deeply that there's no coming back from here unless God does a miracle, unless he comes in and he heals. There's no way I may want to, but the damage to my soul is so deep, it's so cutting. I can't. There's no personal surgery that can change that. None at all. And so the Lord, he does miraculous things with our hearts so that we don't delve into the depravity, the darkness of this world. He allows his light to shine in us so that we are not encompassed with the darkness, because the world around us is so dark. You can go as quick as across the street. You can go around the corner. You can look at the corner store. You can go and get gas and step into the gas station. You can feel the darkness in the world. You can go to the mall and you can see the darkness all around. You can go to Walmart, which is a secondary mall, and you can feel the dark. You can see the darkness. Depending on which Walmart you go to, I've experienced that. Every city has at least one Walmart, I think. I know I'm not right about that, but we really hope that every city has at least one Walmart. I remember when we first moved to Georgia, that was one of the first things that we did. One of the first things, we opened the map and we said, here, we put in our address. Here's my address on our phones. Open the map. Said, okay, we'll be fine. All we need are two things. Where's the Sam's and where's the Walmart? And so we looked at the aerial view and we looked to see how far away the Walmart was. We were like, I'm sorry, what? Where are we? What kind of place is this? What city are we in and why? But the Lord has been so good to allow us to get used to the timing and give him our time, even in that, in our trips to Walmart. But I believe every city is supposed to have a Walmart. And so when you go from city to city and you go to the Walmarts, then, and we used to have to do that because that was one of my son's favorite trips. If we go out of town, he doesn't care about any kind of amusement, any kind of, entertainment that we can pay for. He doesn't care about any new dining experience. All he wants to do, no matter what state we're visiting, is, Mommy, can we go to the Walmart? Okay, they're all the same, but fine. He still today stands on the fact that every Walmart is different, has something to offer, and I like to explore them. And me and my daughters, we say, okay. So if you go from Walmart to Walmart in different cities, depending on which direction you go, depending on what city you're in, you're going to see a change in the levels of darkness. You're going to feel it in one, and then you're going to go to another and say, whoa, I thought I felt it before, but my goodness, this right here. There's one Walmart I go to, and I'm just using this as an example, where when the first time I went there, I felt immediate pressure on my chest. I said, this atmosphere is thick. not only was it thick, but I began to feel a film across my eyes. I said, we need to leave. This is not worth it for us to be here. Let's quickly run and pick up the one thing that we need and let's get out of here. This is not worth it. So the darkness is all around us in different ways, different areas, whether you perceive it or not. And I want to remind you that if you don't perceive where the spirit of darkness is, if you know someone that's more sensitive in the spirit than you are, and they tell you that what they're feeling or experiencing, then you don't have to feel it too. You can ask God, God, make me more sensitive. God, help me to perceive what's happening in my atmosphere as well. Even if it's in my own way from you, that's fine. But if somebody else that is more sensitive to God in these ways, in these areas, doesn't mean that they're better than you necessarily. If somebody else is perceiving something, please note that's still for you. That's God's communication for you. That's God's perspective for you to know what's happening around you. Even if you don't perceive it, it's coming through another vessel. That's God's voice to you. And that perspective of the Lord is his instruction for you. You are to then obey according to what the Lord is showing. Okay, so we're going to quickly get out of here, because if it can affect this person, then there is an effect, whether I accept it, believe it or not. And we don't like the things that we see in the world. We don't like the illness. We don't like the death. We don't like the murder. We don't like the accidents. We don't like the darkness. We don't like the sicknesses, the onset of trouble. We don't like the perversion. We don't like it. We don't like the theft. We don't like the fear of our children's lives. We don't like the human trafficking. All that is darkness. It's darkness. We don't like it, but we got to understand that there are open doors. There are unclean spirits that are causing these things to happen. So we don't like the darkness. That means we have to do what we are responsible to do to stay away from it, to not invite it, to not allow ourselves to be just surrounded by it and encompassed by it. But that does bring us to understand that when we're experiencing frustrations, offenses, bitterness, we're experiencing anger, prolonged sadness, hope deferred. We used that phrase earlier this week. When you have that going on for a long time, what's happening on the inside of your heart, if you're feeling provoked and you are feeling it ongoing over and over and over, if you feel targeted over and over and over, that is the Lord showing you, and by wisdom we understand, hey, this is affecting my heart. It's affecting my mind. It's affecting my soul. There is a hardness that's being developed. And that hardness is darkness that I'm allowing in, because I'm not allowing for the Spirit of the Lord to wash me and to change my mind and my heart to the right way, in the right direction. So whether it be fear or shame, whatever it is, if I'm not allowing the Lord to deal with it, it's darkening me. It's darkening me. And darkness on the inside attracts darkness on the outside. We don't want heart failure. We don't want sickness and disease. We don't want vision problems. We don't want internal organs that are malfunctioning. We don't want bad menstrual cramps. We don't want for the spirit of witchcraft to come and mess with us. We don't want trouble in our homes with our children. We don't want strife wherever we are. We don't want it in our atmosphere between our relationships. We don't want division. We don't want offenses. All that is darkness. Well, darkness on the inside affects darkness on the outside. And so you and I are responsible for dealing with that. Yes, and Sister Odalis says, listen, if you let prolonged anything that's negative stay, it makes you weak. You may feel like it's making you strong, because you may say, well, now I know how to deal with people. Now I know for the next time how not to X, Y, and Z. Now, I'm never going to allow for anybody to get near my X, Y, and Z. Oh, see? And I'll never forget about how that person betrayed me and how they wronged me and how they did things behind my back. And so now I have this attitude. Every time I talk about it, the people around me, they can hear the frustration, the sadness, the hurt. And you know what? People need to understand not to cross me. Hey, what is that saying? What's happening? Darkness on the inside. You and I have to understand the Lord loves us so much. He loves us, and he loves us so much to clean us up, to make us whole. He wants to wash us because he knows that the different things that we have seen, different things that we have had said to us, have hurt us. Nobody really wants to say, you know, she hurt my feelings. Or that really hurt me. He hurt my feelings. Especially if you're a man, you don't want to admit something hurt your feelings. But listen, when you can really dial down and identify something for what's really happening in you, then you can be open enough, humble enough for the Lord to address it and heal you so that you don't develop that hardness. You say, you know, that hurt me. That hurt me. And that might seem a little shameful or embarrassing to admit that something hurt you, especially when you're a strong person or you're a man of God. You may not want to admit that something hurt you. But when something offends you, I remember a young boy came to me one day and he said, you know, I just want to let you know that you offended me. He had to have been 9 years old. I looked at him, I said, I offended you. If you are trying to tell me that I hurt your feelings, then we can say that. You tell me that I hurt your feelings and we can address that. Don't tell me, we're not on the same level. Don't tell me that I offended you. If I hurt you, let's talk about it. I can apologize. We can address that. I can tell you what I need you to do differently. We can do that. That's how the Lord deals with us. Hey, don't come to me with these big words trying to cover up by having this outward strength. Come and humble yourself and let me know what's really happening in your heart. Be vulnerable before me and I will give you help from the sanctuary. I'm going to give you help. I'm going to satisfy your weary soul. I am. So recognizing where you are building up things is important. I want to show you in 2 Kings chapter 6. This is a very, very bad situation. And, you know, we can easily look at this matter that I'm going to read to you, and we can have bad things to say about the people who are in this account. Not just the ones that are directly spoken about, but obviously what's happening in their surrounding area with others, because this is a demonstration of what's happening with other people. So we can easily look at other people's situation and we can judge it. But we need to see, as the Lord is showing us these circumstances in his word, how we need to see ourselves. We need to see ourselves, figure out what's happening. I want to encourage you, watch what comes out of your mouth. Watch what you repeat as far as complaining or repeating a matter. Watch how you sound. Was that offense? Was that the sound of pain, the undercurrent of pain or bitterness? Watch what's happening with your body language. The Lord, if so I used to hear that phrase, listen to your body. I never knew, sometimes I just wish people would explain to me don't use those phrases with me. Just tell me what you're trying to say. But I remember the phrase that was told me, listen to your body. And again, it was not explained to me what that meant. It took me years to really understand it. So I'm telling you, stuff like that I felt like was just totally over my head. I'm willing to explain it and break it down for everybody now, because God forbid you go through the struggles that I went through just trying to figure out stuff. Okay. I mean, I wasn't dumb. I don't think of myself as a dumb or slow person, but I don't know everything. So it's okay for me not to know. Don't laugh at me. I didn't know what that meant. So watch, listen to your body. What does that mean? Well, they were saying, pay attention to what happens that is out of the ordinary or that you're not used to. Sometimes your body will do things that you just overlook. Like how is it that I crossed my legs and I felt a little twinge in my knee? Is that something that I should listen to? Should I be more careful? Do I need to drink more milk? Do I need to take calcium? Why did I swallow and I felt something in my throat? Should I ignore it? Yeah, every now and then I feel that. But over time you realize, okay, wait, if I pay attention to the different changes that are happening in my body, then I can prevent things from happening further, worse injury, worse problems, worse infirmity. So listen to your body. Notice when things changes. Same thing with your car. Don't just drive your car thinking that little sounds that weren't there in the beginning are okay. That's how people end up with engine problems and transmission issues. How did it get this way? Well, when it was little, you didn't pay attention to it. You just overlooked it. You see how hard you're having to press on the brakes now versus 6 months ago just to get it to stop at the right point? No, pay attention to your vehicle. Same thing. So you are listening to your heart. Listen to what comes out of your mouth. Pay attention to what's happening in your mind. Pay attention to what kind of thoughts are generated when things are happening right in front of you or around you. What's your first inclination in response? Okay, so watch this. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 26. I'm going to read to 30. It says, and as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman to him, saying, help my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord do not help you, where shall I help you? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? And the king said to her, what ails you? And she said, this woman said to me, give your son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said to her on the next day, give your son that we may eat him. And she's hidden her son. And it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman that he rent his clothes and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. What's happening? How did we get here? How do you get here? Somebody gives you a bright idea and they say, give me your son so that we can boil your son and we can eat him. Well, you know, this is bone of your bone. This is, as a woman, your child comes from you. You have the most special connection to your own child more than anyone else. So an outsider comes and says, hey, this is a great idea to preserve our lives. And you say, okay. And then you're angry because the next day, first of all, your own son, you boiled him and you ate him. You were that desperate. And then you're angry because the woman cannot come to the point where she can give you her son to do the same. You come to the king because you want justice. This is a matter. This is a matter. How did they get there? Now, I don't think any of us would ever get to the point that this is famine, this is sword, this is problems, this is matters, pestilence, this is a whole bunch of stuff that's happening in this country where the people are becoming desperate, so desperate that they are coming up with ideas that you and I would consider grotesque, that you and I would, now this is profane. This idea right here is blasphemous. This idea right here is immoral. What is, now your heart knows that. Your heart before would have straightly come, you would have rebuked her sharply. Your heart before would have been so convicted to tears. Nobody that I know, I've known someone before though, nobody that I know would choose their lives over their child's life. And yet this is where they've come. This is where they've come. What was happening along the way with their hearts, with their attitudes, with their mindsets that was stepping outside of godly reality? The peace of God, the covering of God, stepping outside of the heart of God. What was going, you don't just get to the point where you decide it's a good idea for us to eat my son. That does not happen overnight unless you have a whole bunch of devils. But what did I tell you? You have darkness in the world, but when you have darkness on the inside because of you not addressing matters, then the darkness on the inside attracts the darkness on the outside, and now it comes close to you, and now it begins to mess with you. And then when you accept it, you obey its provocations, its inclinations, its little bit of, hey, I have a little idea for you. Then it comes in and it dwells in you because now you agree. Darkness on the inside attracts darkness on the outside, and you have progressive levels as to what that leads to. And you don't get to decide what that is. You don't get to decide. So these women had come to this point. Both of them. The first one, though she hid her son, she still is the one that made the suggestion first. She had an idea, and maybe originally she was willing to give her son. Maybe she was trying to trick the woman. Like, I'm hungry. And if we eat her kid, this can last us for another however many days. So I'm gonna tell her to offer hers first. Maybe she felt like the other lady was naive. But at the very least, you as a mom would not even bear to say that out of your mouth. You might talk about somebody else's kid. Let's boil and eat your kid. Say that about your own. Yeah, and then tomorrow we're going to eat mine. You're not going to have me say that. I would never. We're going to do what? Those are fighting words. Those are fighting words. No, you're not going to talk about my child in that way. We're not going to consider my child in that way. But the inhibition, the moral, the wall of conviction had been broken down. Over time. What happened? When did the fear come in that they didn't address? When did the sadness come in that they didn't deal with forcefully? When did the bitterness just start to swell? When they didn't pay attention to the side conversations, to the hateful words that were shared. They didn't pay attention to the gossip. They weren't listening to their own hearts. And so, yes, that scripture, when lust is conceived, it brings forth death, sin, and then death. Yeah. They weren't paying attention to their hearts that were lustful to envy. Don't you know that your soul lusts to envy? What is that saying? You know, your own soul is desirous of darkness. If you don't watch it, it's going to betray you. You want heaven, right? If you don't watch your own soul, if you don't watch your mouth, if you don't watch your direction, your own soul is going to betray you and lead you to hell. Watch yourself. You think the Lord is not going to judge a matter? You ate your son. You ate your son. Well, how did you get there? I mean, how bad of a son could he be? Was he disrespectful? Was he disobedient? Did he run away sometimes? How bad of a son? And you may be a mother or father, you may not be. But you can look at, if you've ever watched any documentaries or news or anything, even I know a lady and I love her. And I've watched her raise her child and her grandchildren. But her child was my age, is my age. And I watched her throughout the years from a child. I was very young when I first met her. And, probably a toddler. And so, I watched her from years. And her daughter, as she got older, even as a teenager, we were no longer friends like we were close when we were in elementary and middle. When she began to hit adolescence and beyond, then we kind of split ways. We didn't spend time together, but I would hear about her. And even into young adulthood and further from there, I would hear about her because the family was still part of our lives. So I would know about what she's doing. Very bad things, very bad attitude, very hateful, strange things that would even require for the government to begin to impose medication and other things of the sort. And now she has children. The children are being raised up. Bad things are still happening. What do? So many things. I dare not even say it online. And yet the mother of all of this that I've known from a child, a very young child, she's not going to ever leave her daughter. She's not going to allow for anything her daughter is doing to separate her, to cause her to stop loving her child. I still love my child. I still want to help her. My heart still goes out for her. She's mine. She's my daughter. I love her. I love her. And growing up, I used to feel like, why do you still deal? I love her. We were best friends, but why are you letting yourself? You're losing weight. I see the stress in your face. You're losing your hair. She didn't lose her jobs, but my goodness, you're losing money. You're just losing a lot of things. Not because you're doing bad, not because you're a bad person, not because you are doing wrong things, because you love your daughter just that much. And she's taking your life through this. That was hard for me to watch. But as I got older, I had my own children, I understand, oh, that's her daughter. She loves her daughter. And so when you see this in 2 Kings chapter 6, you know these women love their sons. You know they do. How old were they? We don't know. The older they are, the more meat they are. And how did they kill them? Did they put them in the water, boiling water, alive? We don't know. Probably not. What did they do? We don't know. We can't fathom it. But what we do know is that a mother who loves their son is going to have a hard time with this. But what had happened in their lives leading to this point had allowed for so much callous and hardness to build up, where they were not able to see clearly anymore. They were not able to think clearly anymore. They were not able to perceive clearly anymore. They didn't have the heart that would be able to say, absolutely not. I'd rather die, both me and my son, just like the widow woman. No, I would rather die. That's not going to happen. So the love of a mother, a father, or whether natural or spiritual, the love that you have for the people around you is going to be a wall that's going to prevent you from doing something so big like that, unless you allow for things in your heart. Now, again, I'm not saying that you would boil your neighbor and eat them. I'm not saying that you would do something drastic like this to your child. I'm saying this is an example of what people do when they don't allow the Spirit of God to deal with their hearts. And time after time after time, the Lord gives you years, month after month, before that week after week, before that day. He gives you access to his presence daily, all throughout the day. And that access is so that you can be more like him and you can perform his works in the earth. But that first part, more like him, because the things that you experience, the ways that you allow your heart to function, the things that you allow in your mind, the absence of controlling your emotions, it's affecting you in ways that you don't realize. So you need the presence. You need the glory. You need the kingdom of God to come in and to wash you through and through. He needs to make us whole. Why? Because he knows if you don't let me wash you, if you don't let me change your heart, if you don't let me change your mind, I know that that dream was not your fault. You didn't choose to dream those things, and it did make you have feelings as a result. Maybe offense, maybe fear, maybe sadness, maybe hardness. But when you wake up and you are in your right mind, you are conscious. It is your responsibility to deal with those emotions. Okay, God allowed me to experience this. And now as a result, I have these feelings, these thoughts. I need to go into the presence of God. I don't need to spend too much time thinking about it, talking about it. I don't need to waste time allowing it to fester and to have roots in my soul. I need to make sure those things right there that the enemy tried to plant, possibly, those seeds don't go into my heart. And I don't have roots digging into the ground of my heart that is going to prevent me from being holiness unto the Lord. Can't afford it. I cannot afford it. So I address the Lord with it. I go right into the presence. And I was talking with someone earlier today. Yes, it's true. Sometimes when you know that things are going on with you and you understand that you need Jesus right now, like I had him today. I had him this morning. But something's happening in my mind and my heart. I need him right now. I need the glory of the presence right now. I know that I promised that I will help you with this. I want to tell you that I'm sorry. Can we postpone? I'll be an hour late. Can we do it another day? I'm sorry I can't make it. I'm so very sorry. I apologize. I feel so bad. But I need Jesus. I'm not afraid to say that. I told you earlier this week, we don't have a closet religion. You don't hide God. You let people know, hey, something is going on with me. My heart is wicked. I need to go and pray. I need to go and allow the Lord to wash me. I need his presence right now. I'm telling you, you don't need me around you. You will not want me around you. It will be bad for you because right now it's bad for me. I need to get into the presence of God for him to wash me. I need him to change my mind. I need him to help me with these emotions. I need him to help me with these mindset. These thoughts are coming too quickly. These movies are playing too vibrantly in my head. I need to stop what I'm doing. No, I can't help you with that. I'm sorry. I can't go over here. I know we had plans. I know maybe you were even depending on my money for us to fulfill these plans. I don't know. Maybe I will spend it and send it out to you. But right now, my body has to go into the secret place. I need it. We have to learn to prioritize Jesus with our whole hearts, our whole lives, everything that we are. We need to prioritize his heart, his will, his way with our whole lives so that we can be like him. If we're not intentional about that, your heart is already deceitful above all things. Desperate. You know what that means? Your heart really wants to be bad. Your heart really wants to do bad things. Your heart really doesn't want to accept God's way. Your heart really doesn't want to obey Jesus. You really just want to sin. You want the world. Yeah. You really love to have ungodly conversation. When people call you and they're not saved, you love the way that they talk and you just enjoy their sinful conversation. You love it. Your heart is loving the darkness. And you have to be wise enough, humble enough, love Jesus enough to say no to your own heart, your own soul. Put your soul under subjection and submit to the power of God, the will of God for your life, so that your heart can be open and available to him and you not attract darkness to your life. Because now when the light shines in you, because you have told that darkness to go, that light now can bring light to others around you because you've done your due diligence. That's what we got to do. That's what we're called to. It's not always easy. I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm not telling you that it doesn't take time. I'm not saying that it doesn't take effort and really self-sacrifice, but isn't that what we do anyway? Self-denial. Yeah, maybe you haven't gone outside in a long time. Okay, deny yourself again. All right, you might be tired of doing the same thing every day. Then you need to deny yourself. The Lord is keeping you. He's protecting you. He's loving you. You know, he's bringing about changes before you even know it. So all the stuff that you're disgruntled about right now, you are going to look back and say, what was I even wasting time for? God is doing greater things, and I admonish you to get ready for them. First place to get ready is your heart. He's preparing his people so that as he's doing a new thing, they can be a part of it. Won't you be ready? I invite you to it in Jesus' name.